Today's recipe calls for some honey. I'm going to show you how to make a spicy honey chicken meal prep. It's going to be easy, it's going to be spicy, and it's going to be delicious. So with that said, let's get started. The first thing we need to do to make this simple but delicious meal prep is preheat our baking cube. Set the temp of the cooking device to 425 Fahrenheit or 218 Celsius. After you have that up and running, grab an empty half tray. Hook the baking tool into the preheating oven. We want this to preheat at the same time as the oven does. It'll make more sense later on why we're doing this. Let's actually start prepping one of the components of the meal, which is the veggie portion. We'll be using 25 ounces or 690 grams of cauliflower florets. I cheated and just bought a bag of florets. You can buy a full head of cauliflower to make your own. If you want to go that route, I have a few meal prep videos guiding you on how to do that. Go check one of those videos out after this one. I like buying pre-cut just because it saves a ton of time. After doing the hard part of opening the bag of veg, go through all the pieces and cut the larger ones into chunks that are more manageable to eat. You want them to roughly be medium to small in size. After you've done this simple task, toss all that into a holding device of sorts. Once in the bowl, add roughly 1 teaspoon of a good quality oil or enough to lightly coat the veg. Now that the liquid fat has been added to the bowl, give the goods a fat pinch of coarse ground kosher salt. Give it a taste test and adjust the seasoning as needed. After the veg has been greased, seasoned, and the oven has come up to its hot running temp, pull the preheated half tray out of the oven. Dump the cauliflower onto the tray. Spread things out into one even layer. Ensure the veg takes up the entire tray. So, the reason why we want to use a hot tray is because it'll help jumpstart the roasting process. It'll give the veggies a good sear, giving us some nice caramelization, which of course is flavor. Remembering to use an oven mitt or some type of protector, snag the hot tray. Toss that thing back into the little oven box on the middle rack for the best results. Set a timer to roast the first side for 10 minutes. After the buzzer rings, pull the tray out of the heat and give the goods a mix around. This way we can achieve an even roast on each side of the cauli. Place the pan back into the little oven and roast it for an additional 10 minutes for a total time of 20 minutes. Times may vary depending on your oven, but a good total time to shoot for is between 15 and 20 minutes. After the final timer goes off, pull them out once again. Using a mini pitchfork or even a spoon, stab a piece of cauliflower. If it's easy to pierce the veg with little to no effort, you know it's done. We're looking for a good al dente texture, meaning it's soft but still has a bit of crunch to it. If things are good, set it aside for now to completely cool down so we can move on to the carb portion, which is some Thai jasmine rice. It'll be 1 cup or 213 grams of this grain. I'm not going to go into too much depth on how to make rice, just because we've made it so many times on this channel. So go check out the full video on how to make it, or go check out some other meal prep videos for the details. Even though I'm not going to do a step-by-step guide, here are some key things to remember when making rice. 1 is always wash your rice at least twice. 2nd, don't mess with the grain while it's cooking. And lastly, always let your rice rest and steam in the pot after it's been cooked. All of this will make more sense when you watch the full video. Anyways, on to the next task at hand. We'll cut some aromatics to cook our chicken with. Start with 1 small yellow onion. Cut the top off, which is the side with the little hairs on it. You want to keep the hairy side on. It'll help keep the onion together when we go to cut it. After the top has been chopped off, cut the veg into 2 equal sections. We'll only be using half, so save the other half for another recipe. Peel all the paper skin off the half you've chosen. Following that, we need to small dice this sweet little thing. Make sections from side to side that are roughly 1/8 inch thick. Follow the curve of the onion for the best even cuts. Once the side cuts are made, give it a half turn so we can cut it the other way now, making the same small section cuts. When that has been accomplished, set it aside so we can move on to the next item, which will be 6 medium to large garlic cloves. Cut both ends off each piece. After that, give them a light smash, which will make it easier to peel all the paper skin off. Now that the vampire repellent is naked, thinly slice the cloves into chips. You can also mince it, but this way is much easier. Set it aside after everything has been cut. Onto the protein next. Collect 2 large chicken breasts. We need to clean them up by cutting off any undesirable parts that may be present. Also, cut off any fat that may still be on them. Now that each one has been trimmed, it's time to finish the rest of the prep job. Using some type of protective layer, fully cover the chicken in a little blankie. Snag your favorite smashing tool because we need to flatten the chicken breast out. I like using a rolling pin for this, but a pan with a flat bottom would also be a great option. You'll notice one side of the chick is thicker than the other. We want to flatten it to the same thickness. That way it's the same size all the way across, resulting in an even, proper cook on the protein, giving us the best end result. You'll want to use a medium force when doing this task. Use your hand or the visual test to view your progress to ensure things are equal. Now that all of our goods are the same height, we need to cut things into strips. Do this by cutting them into sections that are a ½ inch thick and 2 to 3 inches long, going from tip to tip of the chicken breast. From there, cut the strips into 2 or 3 sections or chunks of meat. This will give us a higher yield and make it easier to eat as well. It'll also give us juicy and tender pieces. After you've cut everything into strips, set it aside and give your work area and hands a good clean down and wash. Now it's time to make the sauce. Grab a small holding apparatus, pour in a 1/4 cup or 59 ml of light soy sauce. Following that, pour in a 1/4 cup or 59 ml water. Next, drop in a 1/4 cup or 59 ml of honey. Ensure to use a rubber spat to get all of the honey out of the measuring device. After that, dump in 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Once that last item is in the bowl, whisk your face off until everything is well combined into one. Give it a taste test and adjust the seasoning as needed with any of the other ingredients we just added to the bowl to hit the flavor profile you like. When you have your sauce dialed in, we need to grab a large skillet or saute pan and all of the ingredients we just prepped out. Take all of this over to a heating element. Once there, crank the heat to a medium-high level of hotness. Allow the skillet to become ripping hot. To check and see if your pan is hot enough, drop in a few little droplets of water. If they immediately turn into spheres of H2O and dance around in the pan, you know it's hot and ready to go. When it's hot, add in 1 teaspoon of oil that has a high smoke point to it. Let that become hot. Should take about 60 seconds. Alright, enough waiting around. Now that the oil is hot, following that, drop in the onion that we cut earlier. Season the veg with a small pinch of salt. Saute the veg for 8 to 9 minutes or until they become a golden brown color. If things seem like they are cooking too fast and burning, turn the heat level down to a medium to medium low heat. Drop in the cubed chicken. Ensure to add it away from you. This way the oil doesn't splatter up and burn you. It kinda hurts, just take my word for it. After the chicken has been added, spread it out into one even layer. This will help ensure each piece achieves a good hard sear. Most importantly, it'll ensure the chicken cooks evenly and properly. Once it's spread out, make it hail a few fat pinches of coarse ground kosher salt. Allow this first side to cook for 5 to 6 minutes or until the chicken releases itself from the pan. It should have achieved a really good hard sear on it, giving it a nice golden brown color. When the chicken has released itself, give each piece a flippy floppy. Cook this side for an additional 5 to 6 minutes or until the internal temp of the chicken reads 155 Fahrenheit or 68 degrees Celsius. After the chick has been fully cooked, clear the pan out, placing the protein in a clean bowl for now. Add the stinky breath mint. Saute the garlic for 30 to 40 seconds or until it becomes fragrant in smell. Now that the air is delicious smelling, sprinkle in 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes. Toast the spice for 30 seconds or until the surrounding air becomes spicy smelling. Toast the spice for 30 seconds or until the surrounding air becomes spicy smelling. Toasting the spice will make them spicier because it'll force them to release the natural oils they hold. Before you add the liquid, you'll notice there's a ton of fond or crispy bits on the bottom of the pan. All of that is delicious flavor, which will make our meal that much better. Deglaze the pan with our soy sauce mixture to get all those tasty bits off the bottom of the pan. When you pour the liquid in, it's going to create a lot of steam, so be prepared for that. Now that the steam has settled, use a utensil to scrape the goods off the bottom. You may have to turn the heat down to a low temp. We do not want our sauce to reduce too much. If you reduce too much of the water in the sauce, it'll cause things to become extremely salty from the soy sauce. Since there is less volume, the salt will become more concentrated because there's not as much liquid for it to be spread throughout. So with that said, we'll thicken our sauce with a cornstarch slurry. In a small holding device, add equal parts cold water and cornstarch, which is 2 teaspoons of each. Mix these two things together until it forms a cloudy liquid. Once that's happened, slowly pour it into the skillet. As you're pouring it, vigorously whisk it into the sauce. This way everything fully combines together. Keep whisking and cooking until the sauce becomes nice and thick. When it's become as thick as you would like, drop the chicken back into the pan. Stir everything until the chicken has been fully coated. If things have become too thick, add small amounts of water until it has slightly thinned out back to a sauce consistency. When you're happy with your work, take it off the heat source, allow it to cool completely down. Also, we need to allow all the components to cool down. After all the things are cooled, we need to put everything into our meal prep containers. When doing this, simply divide each item into equal portions amongst the containers. If you have any extra sauce left over, the pro move is to put it over the rice. Now that all the meals are done, put the lids on and toss it in the fridge box or pop them in the freezer to eat them later on. Whatever you decide to do, just enjoy.
Alright, now that our spicy honey chicken meal is done, let's give it the old taste-a-roo. I almost dropped some. Anyways, it looks aesthetically pleasing. The rice looks like it's cooked perfectly. We got some nice caramelization on our cauliflower, and the chicken looks nice and saucy. It could use a little bit of green onion on top for that pop of color, but nonetheless, it still looks really good. So let's get a bite. Try to get a piece of everything. Come on. This came out really dang tasty. Of course, the rice is really good because jasmine rice is the best grain out there. The roasted veggies, or the cauliflower in this case, came out nice and perfect. We got that caramelization on some of the pieces, so that brings some flavor, but it also brings that pop of freshness of that veggie cauliflower flavor. That chicken itself came out really dang tasty. It has that umami flavor from the soy sauce and a bit of sweetness from that honey, and of course the spiciness, which fits the perfect name for this dish, that spicy honey chicken. And we get a good base of flavor as well from that onion and garlic. It's nice and faint in the background, but really gives a good base of flavor. Texture wise, the rice is cooked perfectly. The veggies are nice and al dente, and our chicken is really juicy and tender. Overall, it's just good. This recipe is crazy easy to make, and you can make it any which way you would like. Maybe make it vegan by getting rid of the chicken and using tofu, and getting rid of the honey and using some agave, or make it even better and bougier by using some steak, which sounds super dank tasty. And you can get rid of the red pepper flakes and use some chili crisp instead to make it even spicier. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. And I'm pretty tired, so I may or may not go take a nap. Probably not, because I have a few more things to do. So I'm gonna go ponder that dilemma, and we'll see you on the next one. We get on there and it has that nice the red pepper flakes, and use some chili crisp is good because jasmine rice is the bread better, and you can ditch the sounds really dang good, or add some chili crisp, chili crisp,